Today I bring to your attention a very interesting game from the treasury of world chess thought, the so-called Morphy's opera game. Morphy's operatic part is a famous chess game played in 1858 between the American grandmaster Paul Morphy and two strong amateurs. Duke Karl of Brunswick, deposed in Brunswick in 1830 and since then living in Paris, and the French aristocrat Count Isoir, who played, consulting each other. Morphy won the game in an instructive manner. The game is often used by chess teachers to demonstrate the importance of quickly developing one's own pieces, as well as for other lessons. Story: the Duke often invited Morphy to the Italian Opera in Paris, where he had a private box that was so close to the stage that anyone could kiss the prima donna without any problem, and where there was always a chessboard. Since the Duke was an equally lover of chess and operas, Morphy was strongly fond of music and opera. He was looking forward to the opera Norma, which was played on his first visit. The Duke had already seen Norma countless times and convinced Morphy to play chess, despite the fact that he had his back to the stage. During the game, the two allies conferred so loudly, discussing their moves against the American genius, that they attracted the attention of the opera singers. Singer Rosina Penko, who performed the part of the Druid priestess in the opera Norma, constantly looked into the Duke's box to understand what was happening there. According to Morphy's secretary F. Edge, the chorus of Druids calling fire and blood on the heads of Roman enemies seemed to be addressed to those in the ducal box. It is doubtful that the distracted opera singers could see very well what was going on. But it's funny that Morphy played this brilliant part, trying to get a glimpse of the opera, sitting with his back to the stage, while the performers tried to get a glimpse of what was going on in the Duke's box, behind Morphy's back. So 1. e4, e5. 2. Knight f3, d6. Philidor's defense is played. It's a solid opening, but a bit passive. In addition, he ignores the importance of the d4 field. What followed was 3. d4, bishop g4. 3. Bishop g4 is not considered the strongest move today. It was the standard move offered by chess theory at the time. Now the usual continuations are 3. E takes d. It is also possible 3. Knight f6, or 3. Knight d7. What followed was 4. D takes e, bishop takes f3. If 4. D takes e, then 5. Queen takes d8 check, king takes d8. 6. Knight takes e5 and white wins a pawn and black castling is taken away. or4. Knight d7. 5. E takes d, bishop takes d6, where he loses a pawn but has some compensation in the form of better development. What followed was 5. Queen takes f3, d takes e. 6. Bishop c4, knight f6. This, at first glance, a good developmental move has an unexpected refutation. After white's next move, both f7 and b7 pawns are under attack. It would have been better to directly defend the f7 pawn with the queen instead of simply shielding it from the white queen, which would make white's next move less powerful. 7. Queen b3, queen e7. Black's only good move. White threatens to checkmate in 2 moves, for example next variant. Seven. Knight c6. 8. Bishop takes f7 check, king e7. 9. Queen e6 mate. or7. Queen d7 loses the rook due to 8. Queen takes b7 followed by 9. Queen takes a8. Note that 7. Queen e7 saves the rook with this combination. 8. Queen takes b7, queen b4 check, forcing the exchange of queens. Black is forced to move his queen to e7, blocking the f8 bishop and, more importantly, preventing his own king from castling. What followed was 8. Knight c3. Whites prefer rapid development to material advantage. They refuse to win a pawn by next variant. 8. Queen takes b7, queen b4 check. The only way to save the rook. 9. Queen takes b4, or even 2 pawns by. 8. Bishop takes f7 check, king d8. 9. Queen takes b7. Or 8. Queen takes f7. 9. Queen takes b7 and black can't avoid losing the rook, preferring to concentrate his forces to checkmate quickly and return to the opera. What followed was 8. c6. 9. Bishop g5, b5. Although this allegedly drives the bishop away and seizes the initiative, Morphy retains the initiative with a spectacular knight sacrifice. Black 9. b5 loses, but it's hard to find anything better. For example 9. Knight a6. 10. Bishop takes f6, g takes f. 11. Bishop takes a6, b takes a. 12. Queen a4, queen b7. And black is in an uncomfortable position. Another variation requires white to play accurately. 9. b6. 10. Castling long, knight bd7. 11. Queen a4, queen c5. 12. Bishop e3, b5. 13. Bishop takes b5, c takes b. 14. Knight takes b5, queen c8. 15. Queen a5 and black has a difficult choice, to lose the rook or lose castling, as knight c7 check threatens. On the 13th move the pawn can also be taken with the knight. 13. Knight takes b5, c takes b. 14. Bishop takes b5, queen c7. 15. Rook d3, rook d8. 16. Rook d1 continuing the attack on the king. The variation. 9. Queen c7 is also possible, getting rid of the pin and opening the way for the bishop. Then the b5 threat would be more effective, for example, 10. Castling long b5 or 10. Bishop takes f6, g takes f. 11. Castling long, b5, but then white has the sharp move 12. Knight d5. Although black still brings out the bishop with a check 12. bishop h6 check. 13. King b1, c takes d. 14. Bishop takes b5 check, but on the next move white takes the key d5 pawn and continues the attack. Black literally lacks one tempo to even out the game. What followed was 10. Knight takes b5. Morphy prefers not to retreat with his bishop, which will give black time to develop. 10. C takes b. Black could have played 10. Queen b4 check, forcing Morphy to trade queens, although white's position is unequivocally advantageous. What followed was 11. Bishop takes b5 check, knight bd7. 12. Castling long features of the position in the form of a knight tied with a bishop and an open line for the white rook will lead black to defeat. 12. Rook d8. 13. Rook takes d7, rook takes d7 destroying another one. 14. Rook d1. Compare the activity of the white pieces with the inactivity of the black ones. In this position, the black rook can no longer be saved, because it is pinned by the bishop and attacked by the rook, and although the knight protects it, it itself covers the queen, so white can get a material advantage right now. What followed was 14. Queen e6. This is a futile attempt to unleash the knight, allowing it to fully defend the rook, and a proposal to exchange queens in order to reduce the pressure of white's attack. If Morphy hadn't played his next decisive move, he could have traded the bishop for a knight and captured the rook. What followed was 15. Bishop takes d7 check, knight takes d7. If 15. Queen takes d7, then 16. Queen b8 check, king e7. 17. Queen takes e5 check, king d8. 18. Bishop takes f6 check, g takes f. 19. Queen takes f6 check, king c8. 20. Rook takes d7, king takes d7. 21. Queen takes h8 and white wins. If there is a move by the king, then this leads to checkmate. 15. King d8. 16. Queen b8 check, king e7. 17. Queen e8, checkmate. Or 15. King e7. 16. Queen b4 check, queen d6. 17. Queen takes d6 check, king d8. 18. Queen b8 check, king e7. 19. Queen e8, checkmate. What followed was 16. Queen b8 check. Morphy ends the game with an elegant queen sacrifice. 16. Knight takes b8. 17. Rook d8 checkmate. If you were interested in the review, do not forget to subscribe to the channel so as not to miss new interesting reviews, as well as write a comment and like. The next review will come out unknown when, as a business trip is planned.